This is a lot more like we were after here. Much better. Let's try and keep it going. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hexagon Challenge here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well today. Back into the Champions League and the final game of the first half of the Champions League group stage against Bayer Leverkusen, top of the table clash. So if you're looking forward to this one, then remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on it as my stomach's rumbling full of curry. Nice chicken korma for lunch. Perfect amount of spice, was lovely. Remember to also, if you're new around here, go down below, hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on if you do enjoy the content. And we'll go after some interesting comments today. Let me know your favorite takeaway and your favorite variation of it, I suppose. Had a lovely little spicy chicken korma earlier. The nice nuts in the curry on the rice. Bit of different texture. Lovely stuff. Yeah, stomach's going, but hopefully you don't hear it too much in this video. But before we crack into today's episode, we are going to cover off our results since yesterday's one where we took on Manchester City. We are PSG, and we're able to put 3 goals past them. A fairly even game stat-wise, but it was a good result for us. I'll leave a link in the top right-hand corner if you did not check that one out. But we'll show you guys the highlights of the 2 games since then. You'll have seen from the intro. Feels like we've just adjusted a few things and we're starting to click into full gear now, which is very nice to see. So hard off the back of that Man City game before an international break, we took on Lille away from home, and we're able to pick up a good 3-0 win here with a side which was pretty much the same as we put out in that Champions League game. Started out in the 24th minute, Bakar with a ball in, Augusto, back to Bakar, Mariba coming on to it, his first start since coming back. His strike comes off the post, and luckily João Felix there to tap that home, and we were 1-0 up after 25 minutes, but then another 5 minutes later, and it was Kylian Mbappe. Look, Denali did well to keep that out from Augusto, but couldn't hang on to it. And Mbappe with another tap-in, so a little bit fortunate with those 2 goals. We were 2-0 up late in the game, and then one Gomez, lovely ball here for Mbappe, and he buries it to get a double for the game. The goalkeeper coming out and not getting to it, and we managed to win that 3-0. You look at the stats, it was a very good performance. A goal was also ruled out for offside that was scored by Felix. It was one of those funny ones where a player was offside. It was very questionable whether he was impeding the goalkeeper, but they ruled it out anyway. But look, it was a really good win. Very good performances across the board. Argueri was on a little bit of a low rating, but Acosta came on for him and did well. So very happy with how he did there, even though their goalkeeper did play fairly well, but it was a very good result for us. And then off the back of that, again, we put out the first team. We're just trying to manage rest. It was off the back of international break, and it's not that long before today's game, but we put them out. We started off like a house on fire against what was 4th place Lens and bet them 4-0. The 11th minute was when the first goal happened. Mbappe with a corner, lovely header from Guardiola, and we were 1-0 up. 1 minute later, we made it 2. It was Mbappe on the end of it this time. João Felix, wonderful ball, and Mbappe slotting that away nicely. We were 2-0 up early, and not long after that, 15-minute mark, Medina puts a ball in. Guardiola hitting that at the near post, and we were 3-0 up inside 15 minutes. And then right before halftime, João Felix himself, after setting up Mbappe earlier, Mbappe returning the favour there, nice pass to set him through, and he buried that. Nothing much happened in the second half, but a very good performance. And it did mean we were able to take a few players off early, like Mbappe, and get them a little bit fresher for this game as well. So that was an ideal performance against the team who were 4th at the time. I think they might still be up there. We'll have a check in a minute. But as you can see, thoroughly dominated that game and a very good performance. And I'm feeling a lot better coming into this episode than I was coming into the last episode, where I was just wondering whether what we were doing here was working. Now it seems like it's clicked into gear, maybe since that stud Rene game, even though we only won that by 2 goals. We just changed a bit of stuff there. It looked like we were playing a bit better, and since then, some very good results, and we haven't conceded a goal since the Nantes game, albeit we haven't put out a heavily rotated team since then either. But this game's quite important. If we're able to win this, we will be top of Group F at the halfway mark and have a 3-point gap over Bayer Leverkusen and possibly Manchester City, depending on who wins the game between them and Villarreal. I'll have a quick look at Ligue 1 for you guys though, so you can see the table, and we have now moved into second. Monaco lost a game to KN, so that is why they have slipped behind us. You will see Lens because of that loss to us, have dropped all the way down to 6, albeit not that far behind Saint Etienne. But Marseille continue to play pretty well. They did lose a game in amongst those games that we played off camera, but they're still 2 points ahead of us. But we're certainly tracking in the right direction, which is good to see. So it's starting to feel like things are clicking into gear a bit more here, and hopefully that can continue in today's episode. The other thing you would have noticed from those highlights, if we go to the tactics, Alex Mariba back, getting pretty close to full fitness now. So he's going to be starting. So it's for the first time this season, we've got the team that we really want to put out there starting this game, which is nice to see. So we'll crack on into things, come back with the team sheets and the action from the BayArena, Leverkusen v PSG in a top of the table Group F clash. So we are the away team, of course, and as you can see from what we showed you guys before, our first choice team with Mariba back in there, Mazal on the bench. We've had Mikado in Ligue. Mazal, of course, was injured last match week, but he's come back, so he comes onto the bench, placing Doku. But otherwise, we are at full strength now, which is good to see. Bayer Leverkusen, Julian Nagelsmann in charge of them. They've got some decent players, but honestly, there's not a lot of names I recognize there apart from Estevao Cerrillo. Of course, he was a player for us at Monaco last season. I think we saw him in the mid-season transfer window. There are probably some good players there, but honestly, none of these guys I've really heard of a heck of a lot. So I back us to win this, especially now that it feels like we're hitting a good patch of form, albeit that might be a short one, because now that I've said that, put the curse on. I will say also, I didn't show you guys it in yesterday's episode, but when we mentioned the tactical changes, I suppose, in terms of player roles, we also had switched the tempo down from extremely high to high, and that has also seemed to work a treat as well. But we'll tell the boys to carry on where they left off, and we'll crack into this game. And there is that group, just to emphasize how important this game is. If we get a win here, we'll be in a nice position to get out of the group. I wouldn't say perfect, having dropped those points to Villarreal a couple of episodes ago, but we'll certainly be in a good position. We'll be at least 3 points clear of whoever's behind us should we win this. So with games coming up against Leverkusen and Villarreal, we should have a decent opportunity to get out of this group early should we win this one. And we are playing right to left in the dark blue, and it is Bayer Leverkusen in the black at home as they give away an early free kick. We won't get shown it though, albeit we now have another one. So this will be interesting. Aguirre on the end of it. What will he do? Puts it in. Has an effort, and Holzman with a wonderful save to tip it on top of the net. So a good effort there from Aguirre, but it does remain 0-0, but we will have a corner that Mbappe puts in. Guardiola gets on the end of it. Holzman has to parry it away, but does cling on to it in the end. Guardiola coming off a double in the prior game, of course, and it's still 0-0 early doors. And now João Felix with a good tackle. Augusto, good chance for us. Slots Mbappe through, but a good slide tackle. Gets possession back for Bayer, albeit they boot it long to Bakker, and we might have another chance here. Aguirre up to Mbappe. Tries to square one. It's Felix. Little bit of luck there. Mbappe's cross did come off a defender, but he puts in the back of the net. João Felix, of course, he's been back in his more regular position the last couple of games. Maybe that's another reason why the performances have started to improve, and we've got off to a very good start here at the BayArena. Here you can see the Mbappe ball takes a wicked deflection off the heel of a Bayer Leverkusen defender, but Felix still good enough to react and put that away bottom right corner, and we are 1-0 up inside 10 minutes. Throw into PSG, 30 minutes gone. Nothing's happened since that Felix goal. Augusto with a header straight at Holzman. I will say it might pop up shortly too. Villarreal beating Man City 2-0. So very interesting, but it is still 1-0 here as we come into the last 10 minutes of the first half. Another throw in not long after that last one. 6 minutes to go in the first half. Mariba puts the ball in the mixer. And Augusto after Mbappe misses the header, but very similar to the last highlight. Holzman claiming it from a similar angle. Although we do get possession back here. Mbappe might have a pot shot. Back to Felix though. Aguirre. Mariba with a long shot, well high and wide though, and it is still 1-0. And we get to half time. Not a half with a lot of highlights, but we did get that goal through Felix, and on the whole, we've looked very solid since then. You can see Bayer Leverkusen not being able to get off a shot, and that also happened in our last Ligue game against Lens as well. So we're certainly looking quite good at the moment. We did pick up some yellow cards late in that half though, so we might make some changes because of that at half time. We'll tell the boys they're doing well, but they can improve. The bit of faith, and I think we will take both Bakker and Gearly off. Acosta was very good in that role a couple of games ago, I think. So we'll make that change, and we'll also bring Joe Gomez on for Bakar. We may as well do it because Bakar in particular is on a yellow heart as well. So these players having backed up quite soon since that Lens game, we may as well take them off when we get the opportunity. But otherwise, we'll leave things as they are. Fairly happy with how things are going. Another goal would be ideal, and we'll crack into the second half where hopefully we can get that cushion goal that we're after, and we will be playing left to right with a 1-0 lead. Throw into Bayer in the 57th minute. It goes straight to Nicolas, and they look to get something going. A little bit of a foot in there from one of our players, but we do not get possession. They're able to keep it. Now Nagliela, deep ball. Oh, well, don't know what our defenders are doing. That is absolutely shocking. I think that might have been Gomez, just like ran out and then ran away from the ball, and out of absolutely nothing, Bayer Leverkusen get an equaliser. Yeah, that's frustrating. Negreira just puts a long ball over the top. Very much a speculator. I don't know who that is. He's just given up the ghost. It is Gomez, and he's not on a good rating. I think we're going to take him off after that. And Avdic just to tap it in. Yeah, Gomez leading us down big time there. It is 1-1. We'll make that change. I was looking at his rating and wondering anyway, but that certainly justifies taking him off, and we'll bring Matteo Ruggieri on for him. But that's a bit frustrating. First shot on goal, and they get in the back of the net. Sounds a bit familiar, but it's 1-1 with just over half an hour to go. Goal kick to PSG here, 74 minutes. Of course, we used all our substitutions now, so we'll go a few red hearts out there. We can't do a lot about it, but we do have the ball. Ruggieri, here's some fresh legs down that left-hand side. Can he put a ball in the mixer? Does. Sorio clears it, but we will get possession back through Medina. Or Sorio, the former Monaco man, so we're fairly familiar with him. Albeit a player that our players here at PSG should have a lot of quality over, because he wasn't really in the first team picture at Monaco. Lose possession. Mariba gets it back for us. Felix. Hopefully we can get our lead back. Augusto with a long shot, but Holzman able to hold that fairly safely, and it's still 1-1 with quarter of an hour to go. Albeit there is another highlight, although Bayer Leverkusen do have possession. Sorio back to Nagliela. Back to Sorio again, working the ball around quite nicely here at Leverkusen. Avdic gets past his man yet again. Begins this. No idea if that was his name. It hits. Siu Celescu actually keeps possession there. Thought he tipped that onto the bar. Albeit we give possession straight back to Leverkusen, which is a bit frustrating now. Schulz. That's the highlight though. It's still 1-1 with 10 to go. I might tell the boys to go a bit more direct though. Something that did work at times. We'll tell them to be more expressive as well when we were at Monaco, and we'll just see what happens here. But yeah, 1-1 with 10 to go. Let's see if we can get a win out of this somehow. Throw into PSG, deep in our half now. Now Ruggieri puts this long for some reason. He gives the ball to Leverkusen. Todibo luckily clears that for us, and we do get possession back for Acosta. He's in a decent position for a counter-attack here. Keeps the ball. Hopefully he can slot someone in with some decent finishing. The ball fall to Mbappe. Oh, that's highly lucky. I'm not going to lie. That's a very lucky goal, but we will take it, and we are 2-1 up at the BayArena. That could be a very important goal in the Champions League qualification story. Acosta, good counter-attacking run. Again, the ball hits a Bayer Leverkusen player, and it's fallen to Mbappe, slots it away. Feel a bit hard done by for them, kind of, because, of course, the first goal that we scored also came off their heel when Mbappe put a ball in, but we've been clinical enough to take our chances, which is good to see, and we are 2-1 up. Same score to Villarreal in the other game. We'll just change things back to how they were and slow this down a bit so we don't do anything too silly, and hopefully we can hold on to this lead with only 2 minutes to go plus injury time. Another throw in for PSG here, and we take it. Oh boy, thought he was going to give that to a Bayer player again, Ruggieri, but we do keep possession for now. Terrible ball though, not sure what he's doing out there. Not a good day for our left backs, and maybe they'll have another chance here, Leverkusen. Avdic. Good turnover from Mariba, and he is off. Can he slot Mbappe through, or will he have a go himself? Someone also on the right-hand side. He keeps possession very nicely. Back from Medina. He'll have a long shot just wide. That would have been a heck of a goal. Mostly created by Mariba, but it is still 2-1. Late free kick to Leverkusen. It has gone past the box. Schulz, though, still in the final third. They put the ball in the mix, so we hit it away. Augusto's going to get on the end of this and just run, son. Run like... Well, I was going to say like the wind, but preferably like a snail. So you waste time, puts the ball across. It goes out for a corner. We are past the 4 minutes of added time, and it will be blown up. We come away with a 2-1 win. Compared to the last couple of games, probably our worst performance for a little while, but we created enough chances in the end and we hit a bit of luck, it's fair to say. The goals scored off balls that were put in that came off either one by a player or two, just a lot of deflections, but we were able to put the ball away with Felix and Mbappe. They did get one back in the 57th minute through Evdich when one Gomez went missing for a little while. But luckily we got that late goal to Mbappe and we are now going to be on 7 from 9 points halfway through the Champions League group stage. And that is a nice position for us to be in. We'll tell them it was a good win. Won't have a go at them for that because we don't want to get their heads down now that we're in a good little patch of form. And as you can see, Villarreal did hold on for a 2-1 win over Manchester City. So Carlo Ancelotti and Manchester City are in a spot of bother already. So that is very interesting. Of course, our remaining games, the order of them, we've got Bayer again, then Villarreal, then Man City. So we could get ourselves into a nice position to qualify before we have that Man City game and before group play started. That looked like an ideal situation. It still would be, but maybe Manchester City just aren't that good. That could be another thing that's going on, but we're in a nice position here halfway through the group stages. You can look at the other results on this left-hand side. Man United beating Barcelona. Monaco only held to a goalless draw at Club Brugge, so they really are struggling. Roma and Porto easy winners and draws in Group H as well, but we will come back and wrap those groups up very shortly as the rest of them are playing in tomorrow's action. So here are the results from Wednesday's action in the third match week of the Champions League. Valencia pumping Shakhtar and Bayern Munich pumping Liverpool as well. That's a very interesting result. Chelsea beating Milan, Benfica over Salzburg. Arsenal and Juventus drawing. Zenit getting hammered by Hertha. Marseille picking up another win against Feyenoord, so they're doing quite well. And Atletico Madrid have picked up their first win over Leipzig. So what that means for the groups at the halfway stage, as I just noticed, one of the Valencia goal scorers, of course, our man on loan there, Daniel Simao. So that is good to see. But in terms of the overall group picture, Bayern and Liverpool tied top of Group A, but they're not clear of Valencia or Shakhtar by any measure. That win by Bayern certainly helping things out for the rest of the teams there. So that group's still pretty open. You could argue so is Group B. Chelsea and Milan, a little bit of a gap over Benfica, but they could certainly come back in the second half. Salzburg looking like they might be struggling. Group C, Arsenal, Juventus and Hertha all in the mix there, tied on 5 points with Zenit struggling. Group D, Leipzig and Marseille with 2 wins, Feyenoord and Atletico Madrid with 1, so not much separating that group either. You go down to Group E, this one looks a bit more clear-cut. Unfortunately for our old team with United on 9 points, Barca on 6, and then both Monaco and Bruges only on 1 point, so that's already looking like it might be wrapped up. Need a big turnaround from Monaco or Bruges to change that around. Our group, we're looking in a pretty strong position on 7 points, albeit the first couple of games in the next half of the competition are going to be quite important as we take on Bayer first, then Villarreal, and hopefully after those games we might be in a good position to have already qualified. That would be nice. Group G, you've got Roma and Porto in a fairly strong position with PSV and Olympiacos having some work to do, and then down to Group H, Ajax, after finishing last in their group last season, in a much better position this year with Inter a couple of points clear of Partizan and Celtic, so that one's still reasonably open, but I think you back the top 2 teams to go through from that group. But that is how things are lying in terms of the Champions League, as we will come back tomorrow to start the second half of it, and it will be the same opposition by Leverkusen, and hopefully in our last home game, of course, because we had quite a few home games early on, we will be able to pick up 3 points, and that hopefully will put us in a nice position. And you never know, Villarreal versus Manchester City could end up with a different result, and that would certainly help us out as well. I think if that was the case, we might actually already qualify. It would take a fair bit for us not to go through if those results did fall our way. But that will be in tomorrow's episode. Off the back of this game today, we've got a quick turnaround yet again, but against Montpellier. So we'll see if the first team backs up there or not. But after that, we do have a week off before Troy is, and a Friday to Wednesday gap helps us out there as well. So we'll bring you guys highlights of those 2 games in League On and a table update prior to the Bayer Leverkusen rematch in tomorrow's episode. But if you did enjoy today's picking up another 3 points in the Champions League, albeit slightly scrappily, then please do go down below, leave a thumbs up on today's video. If you have not done so already and enjoy what you see here, then remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Remember, favorite takeaway, favorite type of takeaway, whatever it is, down in the comments. We can have a good discussion about that. And until I see you tomorrow for that Bayer Leverkusen rematch, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I will see you then. Cheers.